May 2nd, 2022. Halfcast
Music.
291, episode 291. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. An evening of reflection. Shall we? Alabama prison officer allegedly helped suspected killer escape jail, and they might be in a romantic relationship. I knew it was a love story. The search is on for Casey White, a suspected murderer last seen since Friday when he left an Alabama jail with a female corrections officer who is now a wanted woman being investigated for possibly having a romantic relationship with the man who escaped. I know you're a suspected murderer, but I choose to see the good in people. Let's get out of here and lead a normal life. Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you. According to a statement from the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office, multiple law enforcement agencies are looking for the escaped inmate 38-year-old Casey White, including the FBI and the U.S. Marshals. Casey White had been arrested on 2 counts of capital murder in 2020, according to AL.com. He is the sole suspect in the killing of 59-year-old Connie Jane Ridgway, who was found dead in her Rogersville living room back in October 2015 in a potential murder for hire. He pleaded not guilty. Casey White left the Lauderdale County Detention Center Friday morning at approximately 9:41 a.m. while in the custody of Assistant Director of Corrections Vicky White. Authorities say Vicky White told them she was bringing the inmate to court for a mental health evaluation, but no such appointment had been scheduled. My initial thoughts on this was that, especially for a suspected murderer, they would have him chained and shackled so many different ways that the only way he can get control of a vehicle or get some type of leverage on an officer would be if he's riding right next to them. Police recovered the patrol car the two left the detention center and abandoned in the parking lot of a local shopping center. Investigators have been sifting through surveillance footage from the shopping center that may tell us more about what we're dealing with. The sheriff's statement explains one video they have found shows the patrol car stopped at a traffic light at 9:49 a.m., just 2 blocks from the parking lot where it was later found. Sheriff Rick Singleton said this suggests the car went straight from the jail to the parking lot. So what it does look like is that we don't know if this is a well thought out plan, but at some point she decided to go along with it full bore. On Monday, Singleton said a warrant had been issued for Vicky White's arrest, charging her with third-degree permitting or facilitating an escape. Officials did not realize that the two were missing until 3:30 p.m. on Friday. Mighty fine police work. Calls to her cell phone have gone straight to voicemail. Indications are that Vicky White, a 25-year veteran with the sheriff's office, assisted in the escape. Singleton told reporters prior to the arrest warrant for investigators said they were unsure if Vicky White was a willing participant in the escape or was coerced into assisting under the threat of violence. In my very unprofessional opinion, the threat of violence theory is kind of weak to me because, like I said, the way they have people chained around the hands and the feet and caged in the back seat of the transport vehicle for someone to get next to you to actually get control or have that leverage to demand to make those type of demands, they will have to be right next to you physically, unchained and uncuffed. Over the weekend, Singleton told reporters at a press conference that Vicky White strictly violated department policy by transporting Casey White alone. Singleton said that someone charged with murder should have been escorted by two deputies. Exactly. A $10,000 reward. There's so many contingencies to make sure that you don't get free. And if you get free, you don't get away. A $10,000 reward is being offered for information that leads to Casey White's capture. Singleton said at Monday's press conference he believes Vicky White is in danger, but acknowledged detectives are investigating the possibility the inmate and the officer had a romantic relationship. Oh, Epstein, Casey White should not be approached and said dial 911. Why can't we just be happy for them? They found each other. They're together. Investigators do not yet know if the escape was premeditated, but confirm a prior attempt by Casey White to escape the same jail was thwarted in 2020. Vicky White filed paperwork Thursday for her retirement, Singleton said. Friday was her last day of work. Singleton also noted that Vicky White, who he called an exemplary employee, sold her house a month ago. I guess after she put her time in with him and softened him up, she refused to let some young officer come in and reap the rewards. Brooklyn man, 73, stabbed to death by a roommate during quarrel over her boyfriend's frequent visits. If he doesn't have a place to stay, just say that. A 73-year-old Brooklyn man was stabbed to death by his much younger roommate during a quarrel over her boyfriend's frequent visits, police said Monday. The Friday night confrontation escalated quickly, with Freddie Quevedo stabbed multiple times in the shoulder, arm, neck, and head shortly before midnight. Police said Quevedo was rushed by medics to Kings County Hospital but could not be saved. His roommate, 29-year-old Paola Jimenez, was treated at the same hospital for a slash wound to her right hand and accidental self inflicted injury suffered during the attack, cops say. Why can't you two get your own place together, or why can't you come stay with him? Jimenez was charged Sunday with murder and weapons possession. Police said the two had been living together in the apartment on East 21st Street near Ditmas Ave in Flatbush. Jimenez's boyfriend visited the apartment often, much to Quevedo's annoyance, according to cops. The boyfriend was not in the apartment when Quevedo was killed. The suspect told cops she attacked Quevedo because he had a bat, but it was not immediately clear Monday if a bat was found inside the home. Police said Jimenez has 4 prior arrests, 3 for assault, and 1 for robbery. Wow. No wonder your boyfriend won't let you come live with him. You're goddamn nuts. You killed your last chance to have a roof over your head. Now it's jail. FDA to lower amount of lead in kids' fruit juices after report finds concerning levels. Is this where we've come to, where we're just now looking for acceptable levels of toxins? Nothing is 100% free, nothing is 100% pure anymore. The US Food and Drug Administration announced plans to lower the amount of lead in fruit juices in hopes of reducing the children's exposure to toxic heavy metal. On Wednesday, the FDA issued draft action levels to reduce the amount of lead in apple juice and other juices after previous studies showed that it was having a negative effect on children's health. Current regulations state that juice can contain as much as 50 parts per billion of lead. So if you're like me and you have no idea what 50 parts per billion is, here we go. This is convertme.com, and I put 50 parts per billion, and the percentage is 0.00005%. The draft action would lower that limit to 10 parts per billion in apple juice and 20 parts per billion for all other juices. The FDA said that the change would result in a 46% reduction in exposure to lead from apple juice in children and 19% reduction in exposure to lead from all other juices. Exposure of our most vulnerable populations, especially children, to elevated levels of toxic elements from foods is unacceptable, FDA Commissioner Dr. Robert Caleb said in a statement. This action to limit lead in juice represents an important step forward in advancing FDA's Closer to Zero action plan, which we are confident will have a lasting public health impact on current and future generations. The agency's plans come after a 2019 Consumer Reports analysis found concerning levels of heavy metals in many fruit juices, many of which were marketed for children. The researchers said that drinking just 4 ounces or half a cup was enough to raise concern. Exposure to these metals early on can affect their whole life trajectory. Jennifer Lowry, chairperson of the American Academy of Pediatrics Council on Environmental Health, said that's a mouthful. There is so much development happening in their first years of life. In response to the FDA's draft action, Brian Ronholm, director of food policy at Consumer Reports, said the proposed limits won't be enough. These proposed levels seem weak, especially when you consider a significant majority of the industry is already meeting them, Ronholm said in a statement. These action levels seem to give credit for work already done instead of attempting to protect public health. Yeah, I don't want to hear that we've lowered it 46%. I want to hear that there was none in there in the first place, that there is none, zero. Consumer Reports, a nonprofit consumer research and advocacy organization, wants the limit to be 1 part per billion or less. Right. Which they say is possible for manufacturers to achieve based on previous studies. The FDA said it is currently accepting comments on the draft guidance until June 28th and hopes the levels will be lowered over time. Texas DPS discovers several pounds of drugs during a traffic stop. Probable cause is the enemy. Stop letting that kick your ass. A Texas DPS trooper conducted a traffic stop last week, and while approaching the vehicle, he smelled marijuana, leading him to conduct a full search of the vehicle. Once searching the vehicle, he found more than 30 pounds of drugs. My God. He was telling his buddies to bring his detective stripe down as he was radioing it in. In a recent post on the Texas DPS West Texas region Facebook page, the trooper stopped a white SUV for a registration violation on Interstate 10 near mile marker 54. The trooper had probable cause to search the vehicle once he smelled marijuana coming from inside the car. If it's that easy for you to get your hands on 30 pounds, I'm pretty sure you could put a couple bucks into finding someone with a clean license and registration to drive you around. God damn. While searching the vehicle, the trooper found 13 large bundles of marijuana weighing 27 pounds and a brick of suspected cocaine weighing 2.5 pounds. Now, a kilo is 2.2 pounds, so the cocaine was a little bit over a kilo. We learn in the night, children. Fun show, fun show, fun show. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Adios.